Today we're going to start working on dividing polynomials. I know we've already started exploring the area models going backwards and forwards, and that works great as long as you know that the divisor is a factor or you've been told to factor. But in this case, we're going to look at what do you do if you're told to divide two polynomials when you know that the divisor is not a factor. So we're just going to start at the very beginning of what you already know about long division from elementary school. So we're going to go back over the basic steps of long division. All right, so when we're doing long division, let's just go ahead and get this set up. We have 384. Put that in there, 384. And we're dividing it by 5. All right, so let's think about our process. First thing we ask ourselves is, how does 5 go into 3? It does not. So then how many times does 5 go into 38? Well, we know it goes in 7 times, so we put our 7 above the 8. Next step that we always do is we multiply. So 7 times 5 is 35. And then our next step is we subtract. So we're going to subtract 38 minus 35 leaves us with 3. And we bring down our 4, so 34. And then again we ask, how many times does 5 go into 34? It goes in 6 times. Our next step is to multiply. Then we subtract. And we have a remainder of 4. So the way we write our answer on this is, the answer is 76 plus our divisor, plus our remainder over our divisor. So our answer is 76 plus 4/5. Our remainder is 4. So since there is a remainder, our remainder is 4, can we say that 5 is a factor? And the answer to that is no. It is not a factor as long as we have a remainder. If there was not a remainder, if no remainder, then yes, it is a factor. And then how do we check our work to see if we've done it correct? Well, all we have to really do is multiply our answer, which is 76 plus 4/5, times our divisor 5. And when we do that, we'll come back to the 76. So now we're going to start working on dividing polynomials by polynomials. So instead of just doing numbers, we're going to start bringing in the algebraic to it. One of the big things that you need to always do is to arrange your terms in standard form. What that means is that you've got to have a degree in descending order, each of your degrees. So anything that's missing, any degrees that are missing, we're going to put a 0 coefficient. They have to be there. All right, so this first one we're going to do, normally you probably would never divide it this way. A, it's a factor, and B, because it's a factor, you probably wouldn't do it this way, but I'm going to show you the long division on it so that you can see the process, and it's really an easy one to check your answer since you already know how to do it other ways. So let's go ahead and set up our problem, and what we've got is 20x squared plus 5x, and we're dividing it by negative 5x. So we got 20x squared plus 5x, and we're dividing this thing by negative 5x. So we're going to ask ourselves the same question. How many times does negative 5x go into 20x squared? So I'm going to start, and you'll just always have kind of a running tally going on the side of these problems. So we're going to take 20x squared divided by negative 5x. Okay, so our coefficients, we just divide them, so that's going to be negative 4. And then when we've got exponents with the same bases, we're going to subtract our exponents. So 4x to the 2 minus 1 is the same as negative 4x. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put up above our x term negative 4x. Now, I didn't even listen to my own advice. I've got to put this in standard form, so I need to have plus 0 because I didn't have a constant term here. So, got that corrected. Now, we've got our negative 4x up on top. Our next step is always to multiply. So we're going to multiply negative 4x times negative 5x. I'm going to do that down here. So negative 4x times negative 5x. That would be positive 20x squared. So that's going to go right here, 20x squared. Okay, our next step is we subtract. So those cancel out and we're bringing down our 5x. Okay, so we now have negative 5x being divided into 5x. So let's do that down here. So we've got 5x divided by negative 5x is negative 1. I'm going to put that up here. Next we multiply. Negative 1 times negative 5x is positive 5x. Then we subtract. Those cancel out. So we have a remainder of 0. So we know that negative 5x is a factor of 20x squared plus 5x. So our answer is negative 4x minus 1. And yes, it is because the remainder is 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn the page. And let's take it one step further. This time we're going to take it binomial divided by binomial. So let's go ahead and make this really big so we got room to work. And we've got 4x plus 5 being divided by x plus 1. Okay, this is different than we just did because now we have a binomial as a divisor. So what we do on this is we focus only on the very first term, the x. So we're going to ask, how many times does x go into 4x? So I'm going to do that over here. 4x divided by x goes in 4 times. So I'm going to put my 4 right up here. Now I'm going to multiply. Again, I'm going to do that over on the side. So 4 times x plus 1. I have to multiply times the whole divisor. So 4 times x and 4 times 1 gives me 4x plus 4. So that's what I'm bringing down here, 4x plus 4. I'm going to bring it down in parentheses because when we subtract, that means we're going to have to change the sign of both guys because we're subtracting this entire binomial. So that really means that's a negative 4x inside and a negative 4. That'll help us subtract. So 4x minus 4x, those cancel. 5 minus 4 is 1. So that's my remainder. So my answer is 4 plus my remainder 1 over my divisor. There's my answer.